Oh, good evening. I'm gonna zoom over onto a chart land screen. We're gonna go black. Well, you may already be black and you're hearing my zoom. Just get used to it. I changed the song. I usually go click it, because that's what I'm having to do. Good evening, good afternoon. That's actually good afternoon, 11:58 a.m. 10/14/2025, and the VIX spikes a little bit and gaps and starts to pull back, as you can see on the 4 hour here. So we had a spike in volatility, the VIX, which had a bigger spike on Friday, 3 minutes before the markets closed when Trump tweeted. So we have that kind of situation. So we got micro on these videos. Last video was hot on fire, 17 minutes. What time is it? 11:58. I should be able to do this one pretty good. VIX is spiking. Are we macro? I thought, are we micro? I think we have to stay at macro a little bit more because there's a lot of different people calling a lot of different stuff out there right now. And I wanted to start on the VIX here, and you can't actually see the percentage. Last time I looked at it, it was actually positive. So let's go find the B's. UVW, and you can see it's 7%. So, and it gapped. It gapped. So most likely, and as I was getting ready to make this, and I had everything checked, nothing was going on most likely, and there was blood. And there was blood in London a little bit, but it was just retrace blood, so moving average blood. That's what I call it, moving average blood. Let's move over to the USDT. A lot of folks don't necessarily show this from what I've seen, but you'd have to watch a lot of. There's so many people doing this, and they spiked it. That's obviously about a 10% move down on BTC. That happened, maybe a little more, but the alts got absolutely just cremated for reasons that I don't think have a lot to do with TA or prices or stuff like that in so many ways. A lot of shenanigans going on over there on Binance, which I don't use. I use Coinbase, I use Kraken, and I know they're centralized. I know all of that stuff, and I'm not going to go round and round about how you do it or what you do. The name of the game is, well, they try to make it crypto, and in a way it is, but the name of the game is money, and can you make it? So they spike BTCD. Is it going to go higher here? Well, if it does, then you would start to look for shorts on BTC. BTC hovers around 111. If BTC breaches 100 to 95, to me, sentiment will break because most folks that brought new money into BTC are after 250 and they've come in at 100. And their sentiment can be broke pretty fast on assets that move rather volatile compared to what they're used to. ETF inflows and outflows will be important, as well as open interest. You want me to say that one more time? USDT dominance is a very important chart that you may or may not see a lot. I don't know. And if we continue to go up, you'll be looking for shorts, but you'll need BTC to breach 100 as far as I'm concerned before I am bearish. Otherwise, BTC 150, which I have been saying all along, you can base it on gold macro, and the gold move. And gold, what does gold do? What does gold do? It smells the print. So there's a money printing, easing, Fed a coming, Trump at the lead, and Scotty, not this Scotty, and we're going to heat it up, and we're going to get the economy going, and we're going to make America great again, and we're going to print until it is, or it looks like it is. And the time just keeps on ticking. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking. Check, 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 check the voice. I don't think I have it turned up all yet. Time keeps on ticking, doesn't it? And as Trump changes and that whole thing changes, the political scene and everything that is ushered in at this time gets questioned, and investors will get nervous. You can guarantee that. So we're going to keep on moving up the board. Micro. I tell the story. I haven't been going too long. What story am I going to tell? Trump tweeted over on Friday and absolutely printed wicks all over all of these alts that are absolutely crazy. Some coins have recovered. TAO, if you'll watch the last video I made, at the very end of it, you'll see this going. And they ripped it. They ripped it, and they're right back doing what they were doing. And that's important. But I'm going to keep on moving because people don't like alts. So for the most part, they're too, yeah, Well, I mean, I get it. We've had like 4 years of them going straight down, and then they do this, and now they're going to take off, and they liable to have just absolutely washed folks is what they did, most likely. Hodlers, I could go into the whole speech about hodling, and people could argue back and forth and all that. You are dealing with still a very unregulated market, even though it is regulated. But these coins and what's going on over here, do I think TAO is probably going to take off? Yes. Do I think that's a good entry and you should chase it? I don't. And I'm not going to do that with you. Quant hovering under 100. That's important to me down there. Quant, but that's an all metals, palladium. On one of my earlier calls, twice I put calls out with this one 1,000 and again around 1,100, and it is off to the moon. Targets and all that. Not this one. And it's a metal. So palladium, we'll go up palladium. Neo leverage spiking up again. I was just talking to someone about that old school crypto, China crypto. I don't think the story here, go back to the story would be Friday. The reaction, everybody watched BTC over the weekend to see what was going to happen to their stocks. So the bigger markets would be important and macro would be more important. Trades, yeah. Opportunity, sure. Risky markets, you're new. You better just sit back and learn and not do nothing. People got their money in this. This is the type of volatility and price action and all of that stuff you're going to deal with. You're going to buy something there, it can go all the way down there, and you better believe it. And there's nothing really bullish about it at all. At all. Has it broke my spot? I had it marked off. You can see the wicks, and they're pushing. They're pushing the risk off, and the Trump and the tariffs, and probably something just came out. Are they going to fix the wicks for you guys that are trained? Wick fixes. It's a hard call, and if they're going to go, and we're going to take off. A lot of that stuff is really can be sketchy because they'll go just like they'll go down so fast, they'll go up so fast, and they leave you behind, and they create what? They create FOMO, which is probably the number one problem with crypto is FOMO. When it comes to the mentality, the next problem is nobody has any money, and they try to do crypto, and they have no training or understanding really, but they think they do. And then the next problem is the influencers and the leaders and what they actually show people um, compared to when this happens. It's what's shown to folks is all gold and silver shiny. Look, shiny, 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 shiny. Fury off to the races. Gold stock, another call around 50 cents, maybe a little higher. Most likely make it all the way up to 2, maybe more. These things are ripping like nobody's. They're ripping to the upside like crypto just got ripped to the downside. The euro comes along, so I can speak about the dollar. Fundy or macro, I consider. I think of it more like fundy macro. And so the euro's up, which means the dollar's turned and went weak. Ethereum took a nice little hit. The talk of town, the 30% correction on Ethereum is, very, very much likely in the charts. As you can see from the 3-day, they came down and they did the same thing down here. They could have took off from here because a bull will. A bull will create a little small pattern and keep going. All you got to do is look in the past. But our bulls in crypto tend to do stuff like this. Now, my take on this was they had already just absolutely cremated. So I really don't expect too much more damage here. This type of price action meant that there was more of a higher probability that it was going to take off from here. I don't, this spot trading up here and leverage trading and all that. Yeah, to me, you got to come down into levels like this. So is Ethereum leverage back open? Yeah, if you know what you're doing, because you got wicks to deal with. They checked in on support, pretty healthy here on this time frame, as you can see, and still very bullish. And I don't understand why anybody would think that if we're going to go bull, and that's what, if you think we're going to go bear here, I get it. But if you think we're going to go bull, why in the hell do you think it's going to go lower? Because once it goes lower, the whole bull situation that was created by this move straight up after this thing got pounded to death and nobody wanted to talk about it. And I made calls at 15, 2,000 and right around 2,500. Nobody wanted to talk about it. And now, what's his face? Because I'll say what's his face. Lee, the litecoin dude, that's who he is to me. I can't even remember his name right now. I can't even remember the name of the company. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Most people don't. That's the problem. Has come in and they're sailoring in some kind of way. It's different, but they're sailoring Ethereum. and they have bigger plans and bigger aspirations. And he's attempting to get 5% of Ethereum supply, or ever how they're gonna do it with their I can't even think of the word. I can't even think of the word right now. It'll come to me. They're going to try to attempt to get 5%, and my targets here on this one, and I've shared them freely. It's about 10,000. Now I'll tell you, from down here, I was 6 or 7. But after they did that, after they put in that shot of money, after gold's done what it's done, after risk has shown its face on all these other markets I look at, no matter what Trump keeps doing, because this market gets deleveraged all the time, and it's seriously got deleveraged, and that would be a whole nother video. Let's go on up. I'm not too sure I told the story, except I keep coming back to Trump tweeted, and that's really the story. I could click on numerous ones of these alts. They would look absolutely horrible. This is the first really good round of blood since we've been just basically on a bounce. Last time I was peeking at ETC, it was down about 3%. So you can kind of see, and this is all, I'll come in and put it right in your face. I start to see this wick. I start to see, dang, that's a pretty good I got to get back on. That's Forex, so the price action a little bit look a little different. Bitfinex has liquidity issues, so Bitstamp can have liquidity issues, but it's not having them with BTC. And you can see here, basically, this is when they start to print that wick. That's where I look for leverage. Could they go lower? Absolutely, but you're short-term trade calling. So you can go back and forth about this or that or this or that. You're trade calling short term. Longer, bigger term is they're setting up blow off top here on BTC, and we are going to reach up into 150. That I don't. This hasn't broken sentiment, and equations and amount of losing money to this or that. To me, still 100. Once we go to 150, I may have to come up a little bit more before that happens. It depends on how long it stays up here, and could it get extended up to 200 and 250? We have to think about that now. All I should have to do is show you the gold chart or the silver chart to realize what we're dealing with. The thing is BTC's been going straight up for a while. So you have to I think you need to factor that in, but they're printing tethered steady, a million, a million, a million. Nobody seems to pay attention to it. You can see the shorts coming in here. I like to see that as well if I'm going to press the button and take leverage. A lot of my leverage trading is done on the Forex. You'll see me do the Forex. But I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out of me and kind of go back and forth for this video and talk to many different groups here that would be interested. I had some alts that I showed you guys. I still think they're good. As you just saw with TAO. Here's one that absolutely ripped and has reversed it. So hopium, I'll give you some hopium here, and I don't cover the coins very much. It's on Kraken, and I don't look at very much. You can see why I pretty much try to give up on all these coins that look like this. They will pump, as you can see. But like something like this, I'd be like, man, you better get your money out and go find something better. Last video, AMC was the beginning of it. It had a little bit of green. You better know what you're doing here and protect yourself. And you're going to have to be patient with AMC call. This is for money pump, short squeeze. Lots of reasons to think this thing's going to go up before it's got a silver thread too. So I'll put AMC, kind of squeeze it in the middle as I roll all the way up and I see red. I don't see huge red. The volatility is too strong to the downs or to the red side. And some of the more volatile coins are going to register 10%. But so far, I got one green, and then the rest of them are kind of hovering on the high end of red, but not so bad. BTC, pretty normal there, but it was for most people that was a good little lick. Is that it? Is there another wave of it? It's only noon. Are they going to come in and hit it again, or are they going to retrace that because Trump tweeted something or something didn't work out? Because they're trying to smooth it out. So just give them a little bit of time. Nothing concerning about any of the board that I see. The hit on Ethereum was pretty strong there, 7-8%. So, and this just has to do with volatility and the leverage and stuff. So that's it's just an A and a B and a C. It goes up to me. I don't think a bull is going to really drag out any longer here, and the chart will not be bullish anymore if we go any lower. So if you want to look at both sides of the equation, I do. I just may not look at both sides of the equation in the same video. That's what I'll say. DXY and we'll go a little bit macro on you, even though this is a micro kind of day, or it's scheduled to be a micro kind of day. And I'll go BTCD on you, which I think is probably one of my interesting thoughts here is that we just had COVID BTCD price action right there like before. That's what we just saw. They did the same damn thing that they did in COVID. They cleared leverage. And then after that, the blow off top would provide that, right? And then after that is when Ethereum runs, and down here's where alt season is. Alt should start to make their moves and get settled down at the bottom, and you should be starting to get into 100 and 200. Some will sit there, and one day they'll just pump 300%. That's a normal kind of alt season. Is that what we're looking at? We may have to wait till you get down there. A BTC pops, Ethereum pops. Who goes next? Light and Link, most likely. My first two early calls after all this happened. But for Chain Money, who knows what they're doing? Because you're going to take some heat, and you're taking it today, and you had to get perfect entries. Will the Wix be fixed? It's about 12:15, and I'm nailing that time again. Will the Wix be fixed? All you guys that have been around me for a while, I'm not too sure. COVID left them behind. I'll give you a nugget at the end. Ina. Yeah, I got a good chart with numbers on it. Some of these just got absolutely brutalized. Come on, give me, there we go. And it's the USD chart. And the wick is kind of severe because it's on Qcoin. And I'll tell you another nugget about the DeFi's. Aave and Maker took bigger wicks on Coinbase. So the Coinbase DeFi blue chips have bigger wicks and they didn't, the other coins didn't get hit that hard. Coins like this tend to get hit like that everywhere, but this is probably more severe than another one. But you can see my buyer is, that's what the chart's about, 30 and 50. And this one has a potential. I'll let you do your funding on it. I need to go dig up some funding on it. Actually, you can see looks a lot better on that chart, but that's Coinbase, and you don't have the whole chart. And Nuggets at the end with a bone. Can Ina go to 2? I'll see you in the next video. See you guys. Oh, sub and like. I forgot sub and like. In Scott.